Monday night, what would it look like?
Hopefully we win. I mean, obviously we want to win. When I moved in with Will, they have a picture in the apartment of Perry Tuttle catching it on Sports Illustrated, and then me right beside him. They both signed. And I was kind of joking with Will, and we're gonna have three of them back to back to back, and he's gonna be holding the game-winning kick to win. He's gonna have Sports Illustrated out there too. But I hope it doesn't get that close. But if you told me we could kick it and win it, I'd take it right now.
The numbers that you put up against Alabama in your career would almost be a career in itself. What can you explain? Put your finger on when you play Alabama. Is something different? Or what goes on?
I mean, I try not to be. I just try to be my best. I'm really not going to put too much emphasis on it, too much thought in it. I'm just going to attack it just like every other game. Whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to say, oh, if I don't score 2 touchdowns, it's a bad game for me. But I'm just going to go out there and have a great time and enjoy this last with my teammates.
Clemson, Alabama, 4 years in a row. Obviously, you don't have any control over the other teams, but is that good for college football?
Yeah, I mean, I love watching college football and watching the Rose Bowl and Fiesta Bowl yesterday and last night. I just love watching the game. I don't like how we have the playoff and a lot of these other games seem unimportant. And I say unimportant because they're super important to the program, but some of the guys would sit out. They're not important to some guys if you're not in. So I don't think that's good. But I mean, the 2 best teams are going to play. I feel like Georgia was pretty good last year, but the last 4 years, I think they've gotten the 2 best teams in the playoff, and it's been us and Alabama. And so, I mean, it's good for Clemson. I don't know if it's good for college football. I don't know.
How crazy is it that has been Alabama 4 years in a row?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we lost to them the first time, and so we were hoping to play them again. And we got them, and we beat them the second time, and then we got them again the third time. We lost to them, and so hopefully this 4th time we'll beat them again and get to over 500 national championships against them and get to 500 on our career against them.
When you look at them schematically on film, has there anything changed in their defensive backfield from last year other than personnel?
Personnel, extremely talented. They have some I mean, they recruit well every year. They got a freshman and number 2, Sertain. And Savion is number 4, and he's sophomore or junior, so he's older. He's physical. And then 15 and 14 are really good. 14 is really good. Deontay Thompson is a really good player, and so their personnel changed, but they're still extremely good.
How good can Justin last week?
He's going to be as good as he wants to be. After last week, I was telling Justin and T I was going to have to grow out of longer hair to catch up with them before this week. But I mean, he's unbelievable. He kind of gallops like a horse. He doesn't really run. He just kind of, and he's super fast, and he's just fun to watch. It's fun to watch playing, really. Just looking over there and seeing him making some of those plays.
With that, you're surprised by how quickly he's emerged? Did you get an indication in the summer or fall?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because we were talking about that the other day. He really didn't. He wasn't that impressive in fall camp. I mean, he was out of practice, and he's just a gamer. He was just doing what he did in practice, and then when scrimmage would come in the spring, he would have a really good scrimmage, and then he'd kind of go and practice, and he'd come back another scrimmage, have a great scrimmage, and he'd come to the game. And so he's really, I mean, he practices hard and practices well, but he's just a gamer, and that's fun to watch.
Do you ever have small pangs of jealousy when you watch the T's and the Justins and so, God, it'd be great to be 6'4", 215
exactly,
pounds? You know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you'd like that, but you're thankful for what God's given you and try to make the most of it. But yeah, I mean, those are 2 freaks, and I'm thankful they're playing for us and not Alabama.
How do you handle all of the, Hunter Renfrow's been here 17 years and the Benjamin Button jokes and all that, despite the fact that now it is actually your last game at Clemson?
Yeah, I mean, I've been here all year. It's not anything new. My teammates have given me a bunch of grief for it, but I'm just ready to have fun this last game. Just to be able to go out there with my teammates and enjoy playing the game of football. and enjoy playing with my teammates.
When do you think it'll sink in?
I mean, I'll still be around. I think I'll probably just train around the Clemson area. And so I don't know if it'll really sink in until next year when I'm gone. But I'll still be around my teammates and stuff like that. But hopefully we can finish it the right way, and it'll prolong that feeling a little more.
Have you thought about what pregame will be like sitting in that stadium?
Not really. I think I've kind of made up my mind. I'm gonna be locked in for 4 quarters. I'm definitely gonna take the time to appreciate it, but we're just talking to the guys. It's gonna be a whatever it takes mentality, and so we're just gonna go out there and go have fun. And I haven't really thought too much about it. No.
Is there one of the memes or jokes?
Yeah, the one with me and Danny Ford and the picture of it. That's a pretty good one. I enjoy that one a lot.
Do you ever reflect at all about how improbable your whole story is, the rags to riches story, and what you've accomplished? I mean, you're even getting ready to marry the homecoming queen. I mean, it's a pretty perfect story all the way around.
I mean, it's perfect, but it was a lot of work, and it was a lot of. I mean, I came to school without a scholarship, and so there was a lot of uncertainty. But I've been extremely blessed, and I feel like God wanted me at Clemson, and I feel like I've obeyed Him, and He's been able to bless me through it.
Is there one aspect to this whole thing that's been the most fun? Is there any part of it that stands out the most to you?
I think just having a coach like Coach Sweeney has been pretty fun, and Coach Scott, and just our Coach Elliott, our offensive staff. But Coach Sweeney's special, and I think I'm going to look back in 15, 20 years, and he'll have a bunch of national championships, and just being a part of this whole journey and just the way he leads has been special for me, and it's going to serve me well whatever I do in life, just to be able to have a leader like that I can look up to and rely on.
Have you seen Alabama now, this being your 4th time seeing them? Are there subtle differences between each of the 4 teams, or is it just all good?
They're all good. I mean, every year they just reload, and I know they have they were freshmen at corner, but they're pretty experienced. They're really good D-line, good linebacker play, and so we're just going to have to focus on playing our best football.
What have you learned about playing them over these 4 years?
You can't beat yourself. I mean, they're not going to beat themselves, and so you got to protect the ball, and you have to make competitive play, because you're not going to have a lot of guys run wide open, and so if you don't beat yourself, then you're going to have a chance to go beat them.
There are certain moments when you're a child and you are an aspiring athlete that you dream of. One of those is scoring that touchdown you scored to win the national championship. How did that moment impact your life?
It impacted my life, and just it showed me that dreams can come true. That's something that you grow up dreaming of. I remember whether it's hitting the game-winning shot in the national championship for basketball, or in the backyard, or running down the field and kind of have that vision in your head. It's just told me that you have to dream about things, you have to have a vision for them, and they might not always come true, but you're just trying to shoot for those things.
Sometimes our memories kind of meld into what you see on TV, right? How do you remember that moment? What's it look like in your mind?
I really took some time, and I'm glad I did. I really took some time after the game. I remember I took about 30 seconds, and it's been a childhood dream. I loved Clemson growing up. I grew up a Clemson fan, and so just having that moment, and I remember taking 30 seconds and just looking at not talking to anybody, just looking at my teammates, looking at the coaches celebrate, looking at the stands, and just kind of do a full 360 and just take it all in. And that's something that I'll never forget, and I can still feel the emotion of that moment, and I'm glad I did that.
How do you describe the rivalry with Alabama?
It's a best-of-game series. I know a lot of people last year were trying to make it a rubber match, but as we continue to be 2 of the best teams in college football, we're going to play each other. And I think it's cool to have the storyline with Coach Sweeney and him going to Alabama, and Saban being arguably the best of all time. And so just those 2 guys going against the experience with the youth of Coach Sweeney, it's cool. It's fun.
You mentioned, 15 years from now, when you finally look back on all this, Dabo's got a bunch of national titles, and when you were growing up a Clemson fan, could you have imagined this at Clemson, this level of dominance?
Oh, when I was a Clemson fan, we were 8-5 every season, and I remember coming to my first one, and we'd had some success, but nothing like this. Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch. I was definitely a Clemson fan, but I really didn't watch Clemson football until like I was a middle schooler or a high schooler, and so really I started paying attention when we were on the rise.
Yeah.
And so it's just been fun to see every year just build upon the success we had the previous year, and it started with 2011 class and Sammy and them, and it's been fun.
What is it that Coach Sweeney does that makes this sustainable?
Probably just the culture he has and the fun he has. I think he truly cares about his players. I think he cares more about what they do off the field and their grades and how they will become a father and a citizen down the line than necessarily winning on Saturdays. And I think that's apparent by how he handled Deion Kane and the 2015 Orange Bowl, and how he's just been able to handle all these situations going forward.
Quarterback situation this year.
Quarterback situation, yeah. I mean, I know yesterday he called Zara Cooper and wished him a happy birthday, and even though he hasn't been with him for a year, and so just little things like that.
What was that like? And when you look back on that transition Syracuse week, what was that like?
Hectic. It was probably one of the more hectic weeks I've had since I've been in college. Because Trevor got named starter and Kelly was the backup, and then Kelly decided to leave, and then it was trying to figure out why he was leaving, and then supporting him through that, and then still trying to go win a game on Saturday, and so and then Trevor went down, and I think that was kind of our season. I think that's really when we came together. We ran the football well that game. We kind of, in the second half, were known for running the football that game, and so that was the biggest win. One of the biggest ones since I've been here.
How ready were you to come in? Let's say Chase turned an ankle. How ready were you to come in and run?
I wasn't ready at all. I was in there, but I don't know if I was ready at all. But like I said, all I had to do was hand the ball to Travis, and they thought I would have did something, and so I was ready, but I probably wasn't ready.
You're gonna run the triple, right?
Yeah.
Just bring it back from high school.
Yeah, shotgun triple.
Hunter, going back to the game next week, the difference between this Clemson football team and last year's football team seems to be your ability to stretch the field and affect the passing game, something you weren't able to do against Alabama last year, which is going to open up another dimension. What have you guys seen as far as their coverage and how they have changed things this year, or are they basically the same unit?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Saban, he coaches the DBs, and he's kind of in charge of the secondary. So they're going to do what they do. I don't think they're going to change too much from last year to this year, or even the previous 2 years. They are who they are. There's some wrinkles thrown in, and they have different personnel and they play to their strengths, but they're going to do what they do.
With the addition of Justin and the other personnel in the wide receiver corps, though, it's opened up some one-on-one situations out there, not just for you, but for those other guys, and we saw that with Notre Dame. Last year, that wasn't the case. They were doubling you up on third down and doubling up the other guys, and you and Deion basically all game long. This year, it looks like you're going to be freed up.
Yeah, and last year we got in trouble a lot. We couldn't run the ball, and we got a lot of third and longs, and so they could play a lot of two-man, and they did, and it worked for them. It's tough to complete the ball in two-man, but we just got to get out of those situations this year. We got to get ahead of the chains, and if we can do that, then we feel like we can maybe have some success in that.
For you personally, does it feel like